So I've been having conversations with members of the community and hearing just different perspectives about vaccines. And I wonder if you could shed some light on really how vaccines work.
Yeah, absolutely. The way a vaccine works is that it basically gives our bodies an opportunity to be exposed to a potential pathogen, something that could make us sick in very small doses, allows our body to become educated or learn how to deal with that. And then it protects our bodies by producing what's called an antibody that then protects us from getting infected later by that same microorganism or that same pathogen. The best analogy for that is basically getting a cheat sheet for an exam. So if you get the answers ahead of time, you already know what you need to do when you see that exam a second time. And the vaccines that we're looking at right now are introducing into the human body a very small part of the virus and allowing our bodies to become protected naturally by responding to that.
So when you say a small part, so it's not giving you the virus, can you speak more to that?
Back in the day, that is kind of how it was done. So like with the polio vaccine, as an example, it was using essentially an inactivated or a dead virus and introducing it into the system. This vaccine is very different in the sense that it only introduces what's called mRNA, which is a very small genetic signature for a single protein that's associated with the virus. So the only part of the virus is this one protein that's not even a protein that could make you sick. So this protein gets presented to the immune system, that part of our body that protects us from getting sick. And then that immune system is now educated and it can recognize that protein when it sees it again. Again, it gets the cheat sheet. And then when it sees the exam again, it's now able to go after that protein once it shows up. If a person gets the vaccine, they will have their immune system become educated, be able to see this protein and build up antibodies. Then when they get exposed again, potentially, what would happen is that their immune system would respond very fast, rapidly to eliminate any cells that are showing up with that protein that's associated with the virus. So an infected cell would get dealt with very quickly when it gets exposed to the immune system again.
Should I still be vaccinated if I already got the coronavirus?
That's actually a very hard question to answer simply because we don't know for sure just how well everybody responds when they get sick. The recommendation is that if you are a healthy, able-bodied person of age, then you should get the vaccine to make sure that everyone benefits from all of the research and development that went into developing this vaccine that is known to have a high level of effect on protecting people from getting infected later.
So do you know if there are any side effects from the COVID vaccine?
Every vaccine, there are side effects. Like every medication, there are side effects. Most of the time, those side effects are very mild. You might have some nausea, a headache, or even soreness at the site where you got injected, which is very similar to every single vaccine that's ever happened. Every medication that goes in by injection actually has very similar side effects as well in terms of getting sore where you get the injection. There are some very noticeable things that have been seen in the vaccine launching in the UK, where people with allergies have shown up to have some adverse effects, but those are people with known severe allergic reactions in general, and they seem to be having reactions to the vaccine. What we know right now is that, again, if you do not have some known issue with allergic reactions, there is no known issue besides our normal laundry list of side effects, which are, like I said, headache, nausea, and soreness at the site of injection.
We're hearing you need to get 2 shots, the first one, and then you get a booster shot. So what's that about? Why do you need to get 2 shots?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Your immune system works in phases. So the initial response to any type of infection with any type of microorganism is that you have what we call an innate immune response. That's the immune response that doesn't need to be educated. It responds immediately. During that time, your body has to then get all of that information to what we call the adaptive immune response. That's the special forces of your immune system. And so during that first time getting injected, your body has to take extra time to get that information from the vaccine to the adaptive immune system, to the special forces, who are going to be keyed in on recognizing that piece of the virus that's in the vaccine and then targeting wherever that protein may be located. Now, that initial effect is relatively mild. It's a low level of immune response compared to what happens when you get the second or the booster. The booster shot is designed to bring your antibody level or that immune response to an even higher level, so that when you do in fact come in contact with that virus, with that pathogen, that bacteria, your immune system is going to react much more robustly immediately. It's not going to have a lag period. So you can almost imagine it like starting off with a cold engine on your car. When you start off with a cold engine, you do not want to rev that bad boy really hard or try to go fast right away. For a lot of old cars in particular, that doesn't work very well. What you do is you let it warm up. So the first shot with the vaccine is like warming up your immune system. That second, that booster shot that happens is a part of that 2-dose regimen, is really turning that immune system all the way on, which provides the most protection for the individual.
If I do get the vaccine, do I still need to wear a mask? Do I still need to social distance?
Absolutely. Based on how this vaccine is made, and this is science we already know from, again, our experience in the healthcare system and biomedical sciences related to the polio vaccine, that when you make a vaccine similar to this, where you're not giving an infectious piece of material, the response that the immune system has does not readily prevent transmission. So you would want to protect yourself as though you were still out there without protection until the entire thing blows over, until the pandemic is done. Okay, so what's being recommended right now by health officials at all levels, by the scientists that are involved in developing these vaccines, is that you're going to still socially distance yourself or physically distance yourself. You still should mask, and you should continue to do these regular safe practices in regards to the pandemic until everyone at every level of healthcare around the world really actually puts out the all clear. Because this vaccine is not known to prevent transmission. So even if you are vaccinated, but you happen to get the virus, you may be protected, but it's not going to prevent you from transmitting it to someone else.
Thank you so much. This has been so enlightening. And when we have other questions, we will get back to you so that we can draw from your expertise and your knowledge. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.